Hey guys, WheatyWaffle here today, and we are back in the city of Westfield. In this part, we are going to finally start working on one of the four ideas that I was proposing in the last two episodes. Overwhelmingly, you guys voted for doing the farming first between YouTube and Instagram, so that's what we're going to start with today. But before we jump into expanding this farming industry right here all the way over to this side of the map, just to kind of fill in this area and finish this out, I want to make one small change to this port area we worked on in the last part. Kojak0, I'm going to throw their comment up on screen, recommended that for our factories, they're all making, this says paper products, but it has this like diamond symbol, and they recommended that I go in and I actually add a warehouse. Can we fit a medium warehouse? Let's just see what we can even fit. We could definitely fit a medium, and I wonder if we could fit one over here. What about a large? I feel like that's going to be too much. Yeah, I think a medium's going to be the move. So let's go ahead and throw in a medium warehouse. I kind of want to put one over this way. One of the options, instead of the crops or petroleum or anything like that, one of the options we can do should be, let's see, unique factory products. The reason that we're going to do this, and we're going to set this to empty, and the reason we're going to do this is because all of these factories are making their own unique products. So paper products, over here they're making sneakers, over here they're making furniture, but all of these count as a unique factory product. By putting them here, we're using the 30 freight trucks that are in this factory to go and send the goods out to the local businesses and to export them, instead of forcing the limited freight trucks for this factory to have to go out further, deliver, and then come back. These freight trucks can just come from the factory to the warehouse, and then the warehouse trucks can take care of delivering the goods throughout the rest of the city. All right, so now with that on, we'll go ahead and hit play. This will get itself situated and figure everything out. Let me just throw down some trees really quickly in this spot, just so it doesn't feel so empty. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna see how this goes, but all of the factories should now be delivering goods to here, and then these 30 freight trucks will take care of distributing those goods. Now what we're going to do is move on to our farming. So we have this whole area here that is going to be more of like a farming suburb. Let's get a handle on what our current farming looks like. So we have animal products being produced, not a ton, and then we have some crops being produced, but overall the number of workers here is pretty low, so we really need to be expanding this whole area out. I think if we could really get some more crops produced, we could then have enough to even start thinking about doing the flour, and then that would lead us to doing things like the bakery and some of those other unique factories. So let's go ahead, and our agriculture currently doesn't make us any money, but let's go ahead and extend this zone all the way over to the other side. Okay, great. So now we have this expanded farming area. We don't actually have a ton of demand for industry, but what we're going to do is by moving over to this area as well, we're going to be adding additional housing and things like that. So there will be some more demand as we keep going. So let's go ahead and figure out where this main avenue is going to lead, and just kind of get some structure here. What is the, actually before we do that, what does the topography look like? Okay, it's not too bad. I wouldn't mind just kind of leveling all this out, just because I do want to use some of those decals we had over there, just to make the farming industry look a bit bigger and a bit more robust than it is by default. So now let's go ahead and bring this forward. I think this can stay straight to about, let's do here, 20 units. And then let's try to curve, being mindful of where that cliff kind of just starts out of nowhere. And I think we'll bring this, let's bring this to here, and then from here we can kind of pretty much dead end it, and it can just then go into into some other roads. And then for our regular street layout, so I'm thinking a little bit closer here to this side is going to be more structured. It's going to be more business or more residential. I think about this area is where that farming is going to start, maybe right here where the curve is. So we're just going to start here with a dirt road. I think that's great. And since we already have some of the our main entrance building across the river, what we can do is we can just start by laying down the fields that we need. We'll do the crop fields first. I want to leave a space for like a path and some different decorations and detailing. Let's put 4 of these down to start, and let's make 2 of them a little bit different. So maybe we'll do these guys as wheat instead, and then let's go ahead and get this watered. So we'll follow the road here and just kind of water and grow this slowly. Let's put in a path just to kind of give it a little bit more detail, a little bit more connectivity. I'm just going to bring this straight on up really quick, and then we'll connect it through here. Tell me you can't just connect to this. It'll just be a nice, there we go, a nice like 3-way connection. There we go. We'll get rid of this. We'll put some trees in here. I'm not going to do a ton of detailing for every section. We'll do some of that just like off camera, but I will put in a few here at the start just to make it feel a little bit nicer. We'll put a few trees over on this side, as well as a tree there. And then let's grab that farming fence. This is Parkway. Is this the farming fence? Yes. Let's go ahead and grab this. We're just going to put in a nice fence just along the front, and then we'll also put one here along that road. Okay, great. Now we're producing some more crops. I think we should keep pushing these crops higher. So why don't we go ahead and build some additional fields, but let's do the fruit tree fields instead. We'll put these facing this way. Maybe we'll just put 3 of them together. Again, we'll add in a little path just to make it look a bit nicer. Go ahead and turn all this stuff back on. And then I think right behind this, we're going to also come in here with another road. Okay, we'll throw down a few trees. And actually, we're going to get rid of this one tree, because what I also need to add into here is some places for storage of these goods. So we do have the small barn now, which is a bit larger. It could fit here if we destroyed those paths. I don't want to do that just yet. Maybe we'll put a small barn here, and then maybe we could also... I don't want anything off of this main road, but what if we were to take a road off of here? And then on this road, we could put in some additional barns. Okay, I like that. I think that looks nice. We'll go ahead and just fill this up to here, and then add in trees like always, just to make everything seem a bit more full and complete. I also am going to intersperse a little bit of zoning throughout this area, just so that there are some people kind of living nearby and running the farm. All right, so now where are we at in terms of workers? Doing great, producing more crops. I might even speed this up a little bit so that we have a bit more movement happening. And let's go ahead and add in the district. This district is going to be schools out, just to encourage the people living here to move, to finish elementary school and to start working at the farms. And again, I'll fix these districts as we go. So one thing we're going to need to really get this to, get off the ground is we're going to need to add in tons of residential. So let's go ahead and first set the schools out policy so people will move right over to working in industry. And then let's just do a quick little road layout here that kind of gives us some more zoning plots. think that's actually a really decent start to this. So we just have this kind of retaining wall here, and I imagine that this little road here, maybe it was an old access road or something, and from here we'll be able to put some of the different piers and things and just kind of connect them. Oh wow, we can connect them off of this as well. That's cool. But we're going to connect them here off of this foggy street here at the bottom. So we'll work on that as we get to that section of our port. Let's go ahead and put in, it does look like we need a bit of business here. I'm going to refrain from doing any offices. This will be the only little hub of offices that we have, just so that we can make sure that we're meeting the demands for industry through our farming. And actually, we're going to bring this all back just one, because we're going to put a path separating both the residents from the businesses. So let's go ahead and just do a tree lined, maybe we'll do the brick park path. We're going to put this right along the back. Just like this. And this will also just kind of help with the connections for our pedestrians and for those living here in the middle. So we'll connect to this little cul-de-sac type thing. And now let's just do some residential zoning. Just like with the previous part, let's actually go ahead and change this to the European suburbia just before any too many people move in. I just think that this particular theme is going to work really nicely with this area. We'll put some trees here along this main road just so that we're not interrupting those who live here. Let's go ahead and fill these in. All of this can be filled in, and all of this here can be filled in as well. Okay, great. And then up this way, we're also going to fill in this whole area, and this can be additional housing. I was thinking this might be some like touristy type stuff, but that doesn't make a lot of sense for this part of the city. It's too far removed, and if it's mainly supposed to be a small little farming town that just kind of connected to the city as it grew, I don't want to have too much happening over here or encourage too much traffic. So let's go ahead and fill this. We'll fill this as well as all of this. And then we're just going to take this tree brush. Okay, there we go. So now we have like our little tree line there, as well as tons of new zoning for residential. You can see that we're already starting to kind of meet some of those demands. Let's just let this fill in. We want to start using these crops for something. So we can currently take the crops and either make animal pastures to produce some meat, or we can do the flour mill, which we are currently not doing. Flour mill does do a bit of polluting, so I kind of want to keep the flour mill and things maybe backed into this area where there's already pollution from our recycling centers. It's not a ton of pollution, but it is still pollution. So let's go ahead and put 3 factories next to each other just like that. And with that, I want to maybe give a bit more connectivity to this area. So what if we were to take, let's take a road out 5 units, and then from here, I would love just to have like this nice sweeping curve. This is just a bit too close. Or better yet, let's just take this out 5 units as well. And now we can get a nice curve. There we go. So it's just another access point to get to these businesses here that have the flour. Now, for our flour, I'm not going to want the flour storage to be in that area. I'm going to want it to be over here somewhere, so that once we build that bakery, the flour is being stored closer to where the bakery needs the flour. But for now, we'll leave it just like this. We might put maybe just a small place to hold the flour, just so that the trucks don't get too backed up and then they're not able to keep up with demand. We can just do one of these medium ones as well. Let's do a medium here, and we'll do another medium one over this way, with the idea being this guy here can hold flour, and this guy here can hold animal products. Okay, great. So now we've got 3 flour facilities producing flour. If we click on here, we are now making some flour. We had some of our tons sent over to the flour, what are these, mills? Yeah, to the flour mills. And we have 5 tons going over here to animal products. We have 35 tons total being made. Let's see if we want to add in some additional farms. I kind of want to wait till level 3, just because at level 3 we do get the larger farm assets. So while we wait for that, the last piece that we haven't really added in for this industry are these worker barracks, or the farm worker barracks, which increase the work efficiency of your workers in the industry area. Each building increases the work efficiency by 5%, up to a maximum of 100%. Our university, who knows what's going on with her? Ashley Darby, you're struggling, sis. We got to get that situated one day. Let's put this area here, they could fit perfectly. So why don't we put 2 together right there? Maybe we'll sprinkle some more just kind of throughout. I imagine this area here will be a bit more business, so it can be a little bit louder. I don't want them to live too close to the pollution. We'll put maybe 1 behind that barn there. Let's leave it at 5 and just check kind of what that has done. Efficiency plus 30% and minus 10 pollution. All right, so we're still not turning a profit, but our workers are increasing. We need 350 workers to be able to reach level 3, and we've already met the cap for resources. So let's let that kind of hang out for a minute, and let's meet the demand we have for commercial business. So let's bring this over. We're gonna bring this all the way up. It's gonna disconnect, that's okay. We're going to completely disconnect all of this, and then let's see if it's already connected through another means. It is not. So we're going to use these smaller rural connections to make all of this happen. So we'll bring this straight on in, and we'll bring this straight on up. The reason I like those small rural ones is because it doesn't affect the zoning too poorly. We can still get zoning around everywhere except for where the actual pillars are sitting. So we're going to go ahead and fill this here. We'll fill all of this, removing this little slip. And then we will also come over here and fill this, and we'll remove this slip here. And we're doing all of this kind of while we wait for the farming industry to level up. But let's go ahead and just kind of give some more connections throughout. Let's turn this off. Okay, and then we'll put an additional one over here. That looks great. And then let's go ahead while we wait. I'm just going to kind of go in and do a little bit of detailing off camera, and we'll be back once we hit level 3. All right, so now we are at level 3. We unlocked the lemonade factory, the milking parlor, medium crop field, and medium fruit field. So what we're going to do now is I want to go in here and make sure we add some of these larger fields, just because it's really going to make this whole area kind of fill out and look nice. So space is already occupied. Let's connect to the node. We'll bring this straight out. And I think at this point here, we're going to curve it into the main road. And then let's look at these larger fields. So we have the medium fruit field and the medium crop field. Let's, along this back road here, maybe even in the middle here, we'll put 2 of these medium crop fields, and one of them is actually going to, let's undo that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a medium crop field here, and then replace those 2 smaller crop fields right next to, and we'll add a third. But this will go to being wheat, and then all of these, what is this? This is corn. All of these can also become corn, except for the last one, which we can turn into a greenhouse. Okay, so while I was kind of waiting for this to level up, I just kind of went in, I fixed up the zoning a bit, added some additional trees within the buildings and throughout the neighborhood, and put in a few zonable areas for high-rise housing with the ban that it can't become a high-rise. So, excuse me, higher density housing. So we'll get some more people in here, maybe pack a few additional humans in to this area, which I think will be great. Let's go ahead and zone this tiny little square to be a park. And instead of making something fancy on our own, just because of the size, is that the large or is this the large? This is the large one. Let's put in just this really, really big park. Here it actually fits right in the middle. Okay, great. So now we have this little park there in the middle, just kind of gives some structure to this area. We are facing an issue of not enough workers or not enough educated workers because this area has the policy turned on to go right to work. That's something that's going to have to be solved by these other communities that do have the university and have access to better education. So now we've built some additional crops. We're now making tons of crops, which is awesome. And we need 550 workers, so 150 more. Let's do some more animal production or animal products. So let's see what we've got in terms of that. We unlocked the milking parlor, which is great. I think I might want to see these all pollute a ton, and I want to make sure that we're kind of keeping that polluting stuff separate. Let's go ahead and just put in one more road. I think we'll take this road straight on out from here. Oh, I wanted this guy here. Take this road straight on out from here, and then let's go ahead and do a little miniature curve, and similar to the other area we have for our farming across the city, we're going to have this kind of highway bypass almost road that's going to just come straight on down and be mainly used for the people who want to get to these milking parlors without having to have them cut through our city or cut through our neighborhood. So now if you're over here and you're picking up goods from one of these barns, you can come this direction, or if this is too slow or backed up because of traffic, you can just use this back road to get over here as well. So now let's put in 2 of these milking parlors. I don't want them on the main road, so maybe what we'll do is we'll bring a road straight on out from here, and then we can put 2 milking parlors next to each other. Maybe we'll put a 3rd milking parlor. I didn't want it on the main road, but I did. I did put it there. I don't mind that. They actually look kind of cool. Okay, so we've got those milking parlors. Let's now go ahead and add in some pathing just to make this a bit more connected. And then we're going to just kind of sit around and we'll wait until we get to level 4. And actually, while we wait, I think I'm going to add, we're again hitting that spot where we are just missing the mark. We've kind of been hovering here for a few minutes. So why don't we go ahead and add in just a few more facilities. One, I think I want to do a bit more in terms of the fields. So let's go ahead and add in, I think, 2 more tree fields, small tree fields, with one of the larger tree fields as well. And this is set to pairs. So let's match that. We'll do pairs along here, and these are oranges. Okay, great. I want to make sure we're doing all different kinds of fruit trees. We'll bring this road straight on up and connect it in here, as well as bringing a road behind. It's not going to really go anywhere just yet, but my thinking is we could use this space either for more industry-specific buildings or for just regular zonable industry. And then let's add in one more barn. We have Gray Street, so maybe we'll put the barn here. We'll put 2 barns off of Gray Street, and then I would love to also maybe fill in some of these barracks to make things just a little bit more efficient. There we go. Oh no, there's a fire. Oh, we're coming. We're coming. Don't burn all the grain down. We need that grain. All right, so where are we at now? We are at 5. We did it. We're at 4 stars. All right, so we've unlocked now the clothing factory, the farm maintenance building, the large barn, and the slaughterhouse. So let me go ahead and just see what we have. This is the farm maintenance building. Each maintenance building increases storage capacity of industrial buildings by 5%. Auxiliary buildings need to be placed inside industrial area. It does have some noise pollution, which isn't ideal, but it does not pollute anything. So this could just kind of even go back this way along the back half of these farms. And if we scoot it over one, we could put this here. Do I have roads in here? No, I just have the fences. We could put this here, and then we could fill this area with more paths. Let's do it. Let's go here to here, fill all of this in, and we'll come right alongside the greenhouse. Now we are getting some traffic coming in, and a lot of it's both to fill the houses that we have recently added, as well as some of it is related to the industry. So I do want to think about an additional connection here that we can work on while this is working to reach its next set. We need 60 more workers. So why don't we make sure we build, I think the slaughterhouse was one of our new buildings as well. Let's get that in, and then we'll take care of doing a highway connection. So the slaughterhouse uses crops to make more animal products, and it is again a polluting building. So let's make sure that this is tucked away, away from our fields over here. This is one of those buildings, it actually fits perfectly in here. We would remove that path, but it does fit perfectly in here. This is one of those buildings I would want to see from the highway. I'd want to be driving past and run into this building and just see it from afar. So let's put that right along here. And then I'm going to just quickly go in while this is sitting here and hanging out. Oh, you know what? Let's actually, one more thing to add. Let's add a large barn over here as well. We'll place a large barn next door. And this large barn, I really want it right there. There we go. This large barn will be used to store all of the grain for this facility. We're going to bring a path all the way around like so. And then I'm just going to quickly detail this area up and make it look a bit nicer while we wait on meeting that 5-star goal. And how far are we to it? 30 more workers. So hopefully we'll get there soon. Okay, so I just did a bit of detailing here. We're still not yet at our 5 stars, so I just did a little bit of work here and decided to finish out this interchange just to help hopefully alleviate some of the industry-specific traffic that was maybe using this, which it seems to have worked. And we just, this is perfect timing. We just reached the 5-star forestry, nope, this is farming industry. So let's go ahead and build one of each of these. I think the only one we can't build yet is the food factory because we don't have glass, which we need to get from the ore industry. So let's jump in here. We've got all of these large fields now. So I want to at least do one of each of these large fields. I think they look so cool, and they're really just gonna bring all of this to life. We already have a greenhouse, we have wheat, and we have corn. What if we maybe do a little bit of cotton here, and I think right behind it, why don't we add in, this is not the right button, let's add in just 2 more of these tiny ones just so that it feels really grand. As well as let's do one more really large orchard. What if we were to, could we slide the orchard? No, it's not going to fit in there. Let's go ahead and put the orchard right here. We already have oranges and we have pears. Why don't we do apples for this one here? And then what are the other pieces? We did those 2. We do have a large animal pasture. I do want to make one more connection, I think, between these 2 areas. So let's add in a short little road here. We'll do it right in the middle so it's not connected to this intersection and that doesn't become too big of a concern. And we'll go ahead and place down the, again, wrong button. We'll place on the large animal pasture. Oh, that is awesome. Look at this one. Okay, so we already have a sheep over here. Yeah, we'll do pigs because I think we have Highland cows over on the other side. But that is nice, fills in that space well. And then the last thing we unlocked, we did the slaughterhouse, we did the large barn. Oh yeah, the last thing that we unlocked was going to be this here, this food factory, which we actually can do the food factory. It's just the lemonade stand we can't do. So this needs animal products, flour, soft paper, and plastics. How big is it? It is pretty decent in size. And it could be a nice addition to this area. I mean, we're getting to the very far edge of town. Let's put this here. We'll fill in the rest of this with the factories that we need to make this factory run. Okay, and now we have Herman's Quality Foods, and it's actually functioning just fine right now. Are all of our... Yeah, we've got animal products. We're running low on paper. We have flour, and we have a little bit of plastic. But people are coming in, they're delivering their goods, and it's making us a profit. And now, as a city, we actually are making tons of profit as well with the 5-star farming industry. So let's just get a better look of this area here. I am going to go through in between parts and maybe do a bit more of detailing just around these areas where people are actually living. Now that the houses have kind of leveled up and everything is done here, I do think it's time to think about giving them some more recreation and just some beautification to the area they live in. But the main point of this episode was to kind of fill in this bottom half of the map with some farming industry, and it looks fantastic. It's on the outskirts of town, our final connection before the map kind of begins to fade away, and it just makes this whole area here have a bit more meaning now because we're able to actually satisfy all the needs for the goods related to farming in our city. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I think in the next part, I'll do detailing in between parts, but I think in the next part we are going to start working on this area here. We've now finished up the port, and now I want to get us a little bit closer to that 100,000. We made about a gain of 4,000 people this episode, so we're almost at that 1K or 100K, and I want to maybe fill this area in here just to cap off this side of the city as well. As always, again, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this part, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Leave some comments below about what you think I should do, maybe to do some detailing here, or what I should do when I build out this suburb. Is there any kind of style you want to see, or what do you think will fit in well next to this downtown? Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one.